What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. It is episode number 828 here today. It will be a solo episode and a lot to dig into today. A lot of great stuff to talk about. I'm fresh back from Tacoma, Washington, aka Seattle. And I want to thank everybody that came out to those shows to see me run the new hour. I'm out there working on it. I feel good about 40 minutes of the stuff I feel really good about. And then the last 20, I'm kind of swimming around trying to tighten it up and lock it in. Going to shoot another special here. So come out to the shows. I'm going to be in Minneapolis at Acme Comedy Co. in November. DeanDelray.com. Also, I'm going to Houston, the Punchline in March. And I'm going to also be at Brad Garrett's in Las Vegas, a new venue for me. Looking forward to that. And other tour dates. Like I said, DeanDelray.com. Also, I want to thank some new Patreoners here. Patreon.com/DeanDelray. Join the Patreon for over 150 bonus episodes. I'll be recording another one this week. You get bonus episodes galore. New Patreoners. Here we go. Leonardo Ferreira da Silva. Got a long name there. Thank you for joining. Also, we have Cam Burnham. Welcome. And Steve Smith. Welcome to the Patreon, my friends. It really helps. If you are not a Patreoner, let me tell you what it does. Since I have no advertising, it helps fund this podcast. Kind of like NPR. We need your donations to keep the Let There Be Talk podcast rolling. Anyway, thank you for joining the Patreon. Good to be home. It is sunny out today. I was in Seattle, like I said, and it rained the entire 48 hours. As soon as I touched down, it started raining and it did not stop. And I looked at the Apple weather app and it said it was going to be raining for 9 days straight. And whenever I think I can move into the Pacific Northwest, then I see that, I go, oh, fuck. Come on, global warming. Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people go, oh, it's super depressing and stuff, because it's, cloudy and dark. But really, I just don't like wet shoes. That's really what it is. You got to choose your shoe wisely. I'm in a sneaker era of my life now. New Balance, Asics, for comfort, old man style. And here I was going up to Seattle, and I was like, well, I gotta get some boots on because it's gonna be raining. And I was wearing the Go Rucks. I don't know if you remember the Go Ruck episode years ago, but I'm still gonna say this, and this is not an advertisement. For under $2, under $200, I believe, you are not going to get a better shoe than that Go Ruck boot. It's semi-waterproof. It is designed by the guy that created the Reebok pump and another guy. They combined and figured out how to make like a Vietnam jungle boot, but in a comfortable way. And I can't even tell you how great this fucking shoe is. So if you're getting ready for the end of the world, the end of Earth, if you're ready for the apocalypse, you're going to want Go Rucks. I'm telling you, I was just thinking about it. I was just walking around out in the rain and I was like, oh my God, this shoe is nuts. And they look fucking cool. Anyway, so I was up there, did some shows. I'd never been to Tacoma Comedy Club. I had heard for years that it was great. They've got a few of them, which is kind of confusing because there was one next to my hotel that holds about 150 people. And then there's one about 6 minutes from the hotel that holds 100 people. And that was the one I was doing. So thank God they've got a sign in the lobby of the other club saying, if you're here to see Dean Delray, he's at the other one. And of course, in this world where nobody reads anything, they just click on the link, buy the ticket, and go. It tells you the address of which venue you're going to, but people, they just don't they just don't go the extra mile. And the way I know is the amount of people that are sending me videos that are fake AI videos of something like look out for this, and they'll send me, it's like some scare video, and you click on it, and then right in the description it says made with AI, and then I'll go, dude, this is made with AI, and they'll go, oh, my bad. Nobody reads fucking nothing. Nobody reads. They don't read books, of course. We know that. I think 90% of America does not read books. So people won't even read two lines in your caption. You'll post up, hey, I'm playing a show here. What time and where? And it just says it all right in the fucking caption. It's crazy. I call them the thumbtack people. There's a new term I've come up with that came up on stage while I was up in Tacoma. Thumbtack people. Those are people that have never gotten anything framed. Everything's still hung up in their house by thumbtacks. That's something you do in your 20s. You get poster, you put some thumbtacks in your fucking wall. For now on, if anybody comes at me with some dumb shit, I'm just going to be like, ah, some more fucking thumbtack people. You know, the people that are like, people that own Porsches are fucking douchebags. I'm like, here comes a thumbtack right now. Beware of the thumbtacks. Anyway, it was great to be up there. A couple shows were really good, and a couple were difficult, meaning had some animals in the room. Had this one woman, the wooer, every bit, woo, woo, woo. Couldn't be anything worse than the wooer. I'd rather have the booer. The drunk booer is way better than the drunk wooer. At least with booing, you could be like, oh, hey, fuck you. But the wooer, she wooed the first 5 minutes I was on stage, and then I dug myself in a hole because immediately I was like, hey, shut the fuck up. Then the audience is like, whoa, he's mean. It's like, nah, not mean. You guys should be mad at the wooer also because you're not hearing the fucking bits. Woo! Woo! Oh my God, is there anything more annoying than the wooer? Woo! I told her to shut the fuck up and then immediately had to go into some strong, strong A material to win the audience back, which I don't mind the challenge. I don't mind the challenge. I remember when I first started doing comedy, I'd come out to like Metallica, favorite band ever. And I realized real quick, you can't come out to like powerful metal or something because then the audience is jacked up like, fuck yeah, Delray. And I love excitement. I really do. And I'm fucking happy you're there. It's amazing. But you can't possibly think that the people want to hear, woo, woo, full thumbtack, full on thumbtack. Now, I'm glad she did the wooing because it gave me the thumbtack bit. So don't be a thumbtack. That's a new bumper sticker, which, by the way, bumper stickers are trash. I don't care who you fucking voted for. If you leave who you voted for on your fucking bumper with a bumper sticker for years and it's all faded, what are you doing? Peel it off. Also, who's putting thumbtacks? Who's putting bumper stickers on their car? Just letting people know what side you're on in your neighborhood. People just walking by, fuck that guy. You know? Thumbtacks. Anyway, let's get into the show. Thanks for joining. Lots to talk about here. First of all, Bon Jovi announced a tour. I think it's like 6 dates. And if you've been following Bon Jovi over the last 10 years, you know he's had a serious difficulty with his vocal cord. One of them was completely like flattened out of gas. He got a experimental implant put into one of them so they were equal size. And then if you watch the documentary, which was brutal to watch, it you weren't sure if it really worked. He'd been working on his voice for years. The last tour he ever did, up until this one he announced, it was rough to watch. And, I was talking to somebody about it pretty serious yesterday. First of all, no Richie Sambora, which right away is anticlimactic, anticlimactic to a goodbye John Bon Jovi tour. You gotta fucking work it out. You gotta work it out because if the voice is still a little shot, you got Richie, and people are gonna be like, it's amazing, man. Richie's back. And they're gonna ignore whatever faults there are there. Now, of course, there must be some serious rift between the two if I mean, because John Bon Jovi knows you put that Richie Sambora in the guitar spot and you've got sold out shows forever. And that's it's I'm not like the biggest Bon Jovi fan, but there are a few songs that really I think are fantastic. But for the fans, they're going to obviously want Richie. And also, it's going to be interesting to see what his voice is like now. He said he wouldn't do it unless he felt like he could sing 2 hours. But watching that documentary and even watching him sing with Bruce Springsteen I think it was about 6 months ago, it's painful to watch, man, because I had sang for many, many, many years and I've watched as people struggle. I look at their neck, I look at their psyche, I look at their face. They are not happy, they are struggling. And then you look at the comments on anything, Instagram, YouTube, and it's just destroying the guys. Now, there's two ways to look at this. With John Bon Jovi, he's got plenty of money. So I'm really hoping that it sounds pretty good. Now, there's a ton of bands out there that have been robbed or they spent their money recklessly on drugs or, 15 divorces and they have no money and they're out touring. I was talking to my buddy. I'm always baffled by kind of the lazy old rocker where I know what it takes to tour and travel, and it's really fucking grueling. Especially this week, I was going to Seattle, and at 4 in the morning, Alaska emails me and says, "Oh, our computer's down. Your flight's canceled for the weekend." And now I'm fucking scrambling to find a flight. So is the entire plane that was sitting with me that was sold out. They're trying to go to the same place I'm going, obviously. So the flights are just immediately getting filled up. And the other airlines, since an emergency, they start jacking the prices up. Now my flight's 3 times the money. I'm losing money on this trip. Instantly losing money on this trip. I have to drive to the airport because I'm worried that Uber might not even get there in time. So I drive to the airport. I park in the expensive parking so I can make the shows. Now I'm losing money, but I've never worked in this club before. I do not want to lose this club. I've been waiting years to do it. The special's getting a little bit of traction and new eyes from clubs that are booking me. And I want to go in there and do a good job. But the amount of stress and the the brutal travel and everything about that is crazy. And I think about these guys that aren't going out and doing 100%. They're just picking up paychecks, and these fans are still buying tickets and watching really, really bad mediocrity performances. If I was in my 60s or 70s and I needed some money, I think the lazy route is like, well, I can just do these five casinos and pay all my bills. But you're completely destroying your legacy and the memories that the people have. Because as soon as they show up, they go, man, I saw these guys in the 80s. It was fucking amazing. And then they go see it and they're just kind of like, people are like, the audiences aren't crazy like they used to be. And it's like, well, the bands aren't crazy like they used to be. They're not performing at the highest level. There's zero original members a lot of the times. And it's pretty wild that these guys are afraid to just try to find a different thing in life. I was saying how I started comedy at 44 and it was brutal, but I was so fucking happy. But I was working at Harley Davidson. I wasn't afraid to get a job. I worked 25 years on the road playing music. And then I was like, fuck it, I'll get a job, man. You know, there's a certain freedom to being able to have some health care, especially right now with the fucking government shut down and everybody's health care could triple if you're on the Obama care slash California care, the subsidized um, help on the health insurance. There's a certain beauty of going, all right, I work here now. I fucking I rocked for 25 years or I told jokes for 16 years. That was a goddamn miracle that I even was able to do that. And now I work over here and I got health care and I'll find something else in life that I love. But a lot of these people, they just, and I find it a lot with the 80s, the hair metal guys. They just like don't care about the legacy and the quality of the performance. They grab some cheap dudes that play for like 150 a night and they go out and they just ruin their legacies, which is really, really interesting to me. So, anyway, no way am I saying that's what John Bon Jovi's doing because he's a fucking massive arena guy still. But what I'm saying is, I'm really hoping that this worked for him because I could see how brutal it was for him. And but you know what's going to happen, man? The first fucking show, people are going to be iPhones out, and that shit's going to hit the web. And if it's not good, it's going to be tough on him, on mentally. There's guys out there killing it. There are guys out there that are fucking killing it. And I will tell you this right now, and I am probably one of the biggest Black Crowes fans there's ever been. I don't need to prove it with posters and fucking shit in my house. I don't need to prove it with a collection of memorabilia, although I, in my time, have had some amazing Black Crowes memorabilia and stuff. But I've said it over and over. It's one of the bands I've probably seen the most. I don't know. I had once counted it. I think it was between 65 and 75 times, something like that, between them and the Stones. But the Stones were a lot because I worked for them and I was out every night. That's different. I'm talking about full on Black Crowes shows, runs at the Beacon, runs at the Fillmore, runs at the Fonda. Those are 5, 6 shows. That's easily immediately adds up to like 30 shows. Um, tours all over the years since the first record, Shake Your Moneymaker, The Stone, and then opening for different acts I was seeing. And then, of course, the Southern Harmony run, which I saw multiple nights. And then Amorica, the one of the greatest records ever made. Then fucking Three Snakes. I've seen the Black Crowes in every configuration, even up to a year and a half ago or so at the Troubadour for the kickoff of the anniversary of the Shake Your Money Maker and the reunion of the brothers. Now, over those years, I've seen, of course, the ups and downs of the lineups. And I compare the Black Crowes a lot to the Stones, where they have these eras. You got the Brian Jones era, the Mick Taylor era, the Ron Wood era. And then same thing with the Black Crowes. Jeff on the first record, but kind of some studio stuff in there also, producers and different people playing leads. Into the Mark Ford era, which is, of course, the Holy Grail with Ed on keyboards. And then you get into a barrage of guitar players, Jackie Green, Luther, um, and then back to Mark Ford, then Mark Ford out, and then a bunch of guys that in between the drummers also, Steve Gorman in, Steve Gorman out, Steve Gorman in. Steve Gorman writes a book, probably never going to be in again. But over the years, we've really seen a bunch of people back there, and you got the people that go for the hits. They don't know who the fuck the band guys are, and then you got the true Black Crowes fans, and they have multiple websites and Instagrams and Twitters, and they talk over and over and over and over and over about the lineups. And in between that, also you get into Chris Robinson's different stuff that he's done, CRB, and then New Earth Mud. And then, of course, Rich had the side projects and they had the Black Crowes guys with a different singer. I've seen it all. I've seen every configuration that Chris Robinson's done. I've seen every configuration that Rich Robinson's done. And once I saw the Shake Your Moneymaker reunion, I was good. I was like, I'm good. If you follow the show, I've said many times that I'll go see new acts. And that's what I do. I go see new bands and I'm excited about. The same way I was excited when I saw Black Crowes the first 10 times, 20 times. Same way I was excited the first 10 times I saw AC/DC. Now I go see new bands. I'm 59. I enjoy going out, seeing a new band. Holy shit, these guys are great. I go, I'm looking forward to seeing Geese. Can't wait to see them. Uh, you know, I go out to live music quite a bit, even though I say I'm not going. I end up going because I get excited. The reason I'm bringing all this up now, over the time, I've critiqued Chris Robinson's singing. I don't know if there's times where he was burnt or high or road burnt or just trying to reinvent some of the songs, but towards a good amount of the last 10 years, he seemed to kind of scat the melody lines. And I'll tell you, Chris is definitely top 10 singer ever for me. But really, what blew my mind was about a week ago, they were doing a celebration of the 30-year anniversary of Amorica. Now, this is the Holy Grail record for most people that are super Black Crowes fans. To me, it's a trilogy, of course. Southern Harmony, Amorica, Three Snakes. I think Three Snakes is one of the greatest weird, dark records ever made by a band. And Amorica is really kind of their Sticky Fingers. It's their, Back in Black. It's their, you get the idea. It's their record that everyone that loves the Black Crowes, it's their Master of Puppets. Whenever you got a band and you get everybody around, they go, oh, Mork, which is, and I will tell you this too. I'm hoping to get Chris on the show. I remember the first time I saw Amorica, the band playing the tunes. Uh, I went to Laguna Seca, Bob Dylan, Black Crowes, Amorica tour. Amorica, I'm spinning it at the time. They got Wiser Time, Gone, Conspiracy, Cursed Diamond. These songs are embedded in my fucking heart and soul. And, you know, I'm like, this is a different band. This band, at the time, Allman Brothers, they had Warren in, and Allman Brothers was enjoying this whole new super wave of fame that they hadn't had since Dwayne and Barry Oakley. And so, anyway, you can see what's going on. You got the Horde Tour, you got Blues Traveler, you got Black Crowes, you got the Allman Brothers, all these bands, Spin Doctors, Mother Hips. There's all these bands. There's this whole fucking Blind Melon. There's this whole thing going. Semi jammy, but not full dead jams. Tunes, jams, psychedelics, multicultural audiences, incredible music time. So I go to Laguna Seca. I got a backstage pass. I'm standing on the stage. The Black Crowes step on. They got that dude, Bobo, on the congas. Mark Ford, Rich Robinson, Chris, Johnny Colt, Gorman, Ed, background singers. They play one of the greatest sets I've ever seen. And that was it for me. I was like, could be top band in the last 30 years. So that being said, and being addicted to Amorica, I started going to see them all over. I have the exact grooves and feelings of Amorica. Whenever they got a new guy, all he had to do was play Wiser Time, and I would be out. Because the slipperiness and the grease and the vibe of Mark Ford and Rich, that fucking thing cannot be replicated. If it can, it's almost impossible. It's like Phil Rudd on drums. As soon as a different drummer gets into AC/DC, you're like, the tunes are there, and that's what's great about the Black Crowes. They have the greatest tunes. But if you're a super fan like me, you're like, nah, that's not it. Now I'll enjoy it, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, I like the Mick Taylor era. And so I'm not saying Mick Taylor was in the Black Crowes, but you get what I'm saying. You start saying, I like the Phil Rudd era. I like the Mark Ford era. And that has been a heavy, heavy weight on the Black Crowes' shoulders. I don't care what they say, it's definitely there. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is they shot a live concert about, I don't know when they shot it, but they dropped it here. I'll tell you right now. It was last week, and it was, when did this come out? It's called The Black Crowes Recorded Live at Analog, and it's a show in Nashville that they recorded. And it came out a week ago, October 16th, it premiered. Somebody sent it to me. I clicked on it, and for the next hour, I was fucking floored. All right. I'm just looking at this. Sorry, I'm just checking this out. I could not fucking believe how great the band sounded, and most of all, how great fucking Chris Robinson sounded. Because Chris was just out doing the Joe Perry project. And Chris is always fucking a great singer, but the Joe Perry project, they were doing stuff like Stone Temple Pilots and other music that's not necessarily in his wheelhouse. Now, Chris can sing almost everything, but when it's his wheelhouse of Rod Stewart, Frankie Miller, Otis Redding, when it's his wheelhouse, no one can touch him. But, I thought over the years with the Black Crowes, he was a little bit scatty, might be a little bored, and he wasn't really, he wasn't singing the melodies. But holy shit, man, I don't know what happened. And if I get him on the show, I can't wait to fucking ask him. But he delivers a performance that is probably one of the best I've seen him do in easily 20 years since they got the reformed back and did that Fillmore run when they got the original lineup back together. This performance, and it's on YouTube, I highly recommend you go fucking watch this ASAP. It is a full set of some Amorica tunes and the tracks that were recorded around that time from the band and the Tall sessions. All right. Opens up with Gone. Immediately, I got goosebumps. Now, the only thing that held me back a little bit on it was the drummer was playing it slow. Then they go into Tied Up, which is a rare track. Exit, which is another track from the Tall band era. A Conspiracy, which is on Amorica. Bitter, Bitter You, another rare track. Nonfiction, unfucking believable song. Into Their Crown Jewel, Wiser Time, P25 London, Hi Hat Blues, Remedy, which is not from Amorica, but you could tell they gave the fans a little smash in the face there at the end that were in the audience. Now, I will tell you this, not only is Chris killing it, but they finally found a dude on guitar that can play the Mark Ford stuff. And man, does he play the fuck out of it. This guy, Nico. And he's been in there a while now, and I've kind of liked what he's been doing, but the chemistry had not fucking gelled amongst the keyboard kid and the multiple drummers they've had in the last, I know how hard Chris Robinson is on the drummers. I've seen him turn around and fucking yell at a drummer, give him the fucking come on, motherfucker, a lot like Steven Tyler, where Steven Tyler is a drummer and loves a groove. And when you got Chris Robinson, who had Steve Gorman for years back there, you're always going to be going, fuck, Gorman really can fucking lay it down. I play with Gorman in the AC/DC thing, one of the few guys that can do the Bon Scott, Phil Rudd stuff. But this is the first time that I feel like this fucking band is gelling so goddamn hard that if they go out and do this lineup and the Amorica stuff, which by the way, hats off to these background singers too. Now, I'm trying to get their names, but the Wikipedia for Black Crowes is so fucking long, and I don't know if it's current or right. Let me look right here. This is what it says for current touring musicians. Of course, Sven is on bass, who was the first bass player. Then he was out, Johnny Colt. And then years later, Sven came back. But it says current touring musicians. Eric Deutsch, I don't know if that's how you say your last name. I never really understood Eric for a long time because he looked like he worked at a bank. He had short hair. He didn't dress the part, which is, how do you say, dress the part for Black Crowes? They went through a lot of different eras, the tie-dye era, the hippie era, the faces era, the heroin era. But Eric is finally stepping up because big shoes of Ed, big shoes. Nico, I don't know how to say his last name. Bara Barakaratia. I know I ruined it. Cooley Cooley Simonton on drums. Now I don't know if that's right because they've kind of went through three drummers in the last few years. Mackenzie Adams and Leslie Grant. Now, if those are the background singers that I saw on this live analog thing, holy shit, they are fucking great since the mom and daughter combo of the early 90s. The background singers, the I'm telling you, man, everything about this performance, they need to immediately put this out on the streaming platforms and vinyl. I think it is absolutely flawless. Rich Robinson playing fucking amazing. Rich has been on the show many times. He is a friend. Um, and he's looking good and he even looks like he's having some fun. Now, I don't know, but I will tell you this right now. When I see something that fucking inspires me, and this is way, way deep in the Black Crowes' careers, this is the 30th anniversary of the Amorica record. Band's been together, what, 35 years, maybe almost 40 now. I forget what year. Was it 80, 89 or something? What year did Shake Your Money Maker come out? Doesn't matter. When I see something this deep, and it's like when the AC/DC got that drummer, and I went to see him, the new drummer, and you know, he was killing it. I was like, okay, I got to give some fucking props. Now I will see this lineup if they're playing this kind of set list all day long, all day long. That's the Black Crowes' strength of playing different set lists every night and surprising you. And now listen, I'm going to tell you, this is the most incredible era of the Black Crowes songs wise. Amorica, but these other records that didn't come out from the band and tall sessions, stuff like Feathers, Pain and Eight. Now they did release that stuff, but it doesn't seem to be around anymore on the streaming platforms. I've got it on it was like a double CD, and when they got back together, they were out playing that stuff. Matter of fact, when the original lineup got back together, I saw them open up. They opened up with fucking Pain and Eight. This is a song only the Crowes heads know. I mean, Pain and Eight, fucking unbelievable. Deep, deep killer tracks just sitting on a fucking shelf. Anyway, I obviously love this band. And that's why I just talked about them for 25 minutes. I could talk Black Crowes forever, but only with the right people, you know? And also, I want to give a fucking hats off right now to Mark Ford, who's been playing the last couple of years with Lucinda Williams and has been clean and absolutely murdering that car wheels on a gravel road stuff. Now, I call Kenny Vaughn one of the greatest guys I've ever seen in my life on stage. During the Car Wheels tour, I watched Kenny Vaughn blow my fucking mind, looking like Buddy Holly with the crazy glasses, playing a weird Music Man fucking guitar and destroying. And I had Kenny Vaughn on years later, and he is one of the most mind-boggling guitar players I ever saw. So, you know, that stuff is just in my soul. It is in my soul. And Mark Ford is playing with her and destroying it. I'm so fucking happy for Mark. He's in and out of Black Crowes, years of drugs, and I'm just so happy we didn't lose him. And I'm happy that he's out, and he looks fucking great. And also, 3 degrees of separation, or whatever you want to fucking call that, 1 degree or whatever. You have the Mother Hips, who Chris Robinson was going to produce, and they're fucking killing it. So there's bands out there that have been around 20, 30, 40 years and still fucking killing it. And then you got these people that just punch in that just don't even try and don't care about their legacy. So thank God for these great, great, great bands that are still going for it. And thank you, Black Crowes, for doing this, because it has really inspired me. And holy shit, all weekend I'm up there in Seattle just cranking Black Crowes. Now, look, I don't fuck with the first record. That got me into it. It's like if you're drinking caffeine, the first record's, your caffeine, and then you go, I like this, but let's do some powders. This caffeine's just, that's that's beginners ups. Let's get into some powders, and then you get into the Southern Harmony and the Amorica and Three Snakes. Now, if you're a Black Crowes fan, go back and listen. I've interviewed every player in the Black Crowes except for Chris Robinson. I've had uh, Rich on a couple times. I've had Steve Gorman on a couple times. I've had um, Mark Ford on 2 times. Mark Ford's going to be back on the show, by the way. I'm looking forward to talking to him about how the Lucinda thing happened. Also, Mark Ford's back playing Les Paul, which is fucking great. So, if you are a Black Crowes head, go back and listen to those over the last 13 years. They're in there and they're good. There's obviously some animosity years ago during those interviews because between Rich and Chris that weren't talking, and the Mark and the band, and of course the infamous Gorman and the book. But they're all, to me, I'm never looking for dirt. I'm not a guy looking for dirt on a band. I'm looking just to document the history of one of my favorite bands ever. And that's what it's about. That's why I ask the honest questions. I'm not like, hey, that guy sucked ass, huh? Hey, tell me about it. That's not what it's about. It's really about what the fuck happened. And everybody's going to have their own story. So it's great to ask each guy what happened and then put it all together for your own thing. Speaking of, Bon Jovi, um, I went to go see the Springsteen movie, and no way am I comparing the two, but I was saying that John had sang with Bruce months back. I went to go see the Bruce movie, and which, by the way, I can't stand the name of the movie because I can't remember it, and it's kind of a dumb name, but here it is: Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere. And I'm a huge Bruce guy, but I am a lot like the Grateful Dead. I think there's a lot of stuff about Bruce I don't like, a lot of songs. And then there are a lot of songs that I fucking love and they blow me away. And I didn't like Bruce, just like the Grateful Dead growing up. Bruce was everywhere, born in the USA. My mom went to that tour. She saw it. She loved Bruce. She had fun. She went to Oakland Coliseum, saw Bruce Springsteen outdoors, a day on the green. And I didn't like Bruce until the Ghost of Tom Joad record hit me during the incredible era of kind of alt country. And I was really getting into serious singer songwriter music. Of course, Jeff Tweedy, Lucinda Williams, like I said, Jayhawks, Tom Petty's Wildflowers, Springsteen's great Ghost of Tom Joad, particularly a song called Youngstown. I love Bruce. I love the first two records so fucking much. It's like the Black Crowes, totally different Bruce Springsteen. Kind of weird jazz, East Coast, Warren Zevon, Dylan-ish, kind of bizarre arrangements, amazing records. Then you got a little masterpiece called Born to Run. Then you got Darkness on the Edge of Town. But in between that, you have some after that, and you have some records that I do not care for. And one of them is Nebraska. And it was funny, I was reading the review from the Variety guy, and I don't read the trade magazines, but it popped up, and I was curious what people were saying about the film. And he said, I'm going to do the absolute blasphemy of saying, I do not like Nebraska. That's what he said. And he goes, so the problem with this movie is they're covering an era of a record that people call a masterpiece. And I don't think it's a masterpiece. And holy shit, I've never related so much with a reviewer, which I don't really care what reviews say. I always make up my own mind. But I was like, this guy's dead on. I don't care for Nebraska at all, except for the song Atlantic City, which I think is unbelievable. I also do not like the River era. There's a couple songs on the River. Let me get it real quick. Let's see here. That I love. Let me check here. And then the, let's see, Bruce Springsteen. And then there's a lot of the River that I can't stand. Now, that's what I love about a real fan of somebody. I like when you could say, look, I don't like the River era, but I love fucking Bruce. And what I love about these eras is they're like bridges to the next eras that I do love. So the River, I do love Hungry Heart. It's a fucking giant hit, but it's a great song. I do love The River. The actual song is so fucking great. Point blank. Unbelievable. The stuff I don't like, and I'm not a 50s rock and roll guy, and if you listen to the show for 13 years, you know that I'm not an Elvis guy. I'm not into that stuff of hey yo Minnesota, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, well, I'm going to bed, oh yeah, I tutti fruity, I boop 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 boop. I like dangerous fucking music. I like music that really makes me feel shit. I'm not a dancer. I don't run out on the dance floor, never have. So I don't need those kind of 50s. I don't like fucking 55 Chevys, the car. I don't like 50s cars either. It's just when I grew up. I grew up in the late 60s, 70s, 80s. So I'm not a River guy and I'm not a Nebraska guy. But I will tell you this, Atlantic City Killer. Also, there's one other song I fucking love on there, which was I think it's State Trooper. Anyway, what I love about Nebraska, and if Bruce is on the set quite a bit, and I'm sure that a lot of it is pretty fucking legit in the storytelling. First of all, I saw it in Seattle over the weekend by myself in a pouring rain, and you have whenever you're an artist, you have these visions of how you think it should go. And you also have these constant doubts in your mind of like, is this the right fucking thing to do? And to be able to capture that on film and tell the story. And I think the more that we do this to let people know, fuck you, AI, we need some humans. The reason this was an incredible record or that record wasn't good is it's got human nature in it. Human nature is what you feel, and human feelings as you're watching Bruce come off of the success of Born to Run and Darkness and Hungry Heart, and you see the label and the fucking greed machine kick in. And also, when you get a little idea of a little taste of success, then you're at this road of like, do I want to go all in and let everyone know who the fuck I am as I walk down the street? Do I want to take pictures with people everywhere I go? Do I want to feed the machine and let them just turn me into some kind of pop star or a sitcom star or whatever, whatever form of art you're in? You have to really figure out. Now, there's a game I understand you have to play a little bit to be in this world so you can keep working. You have to play the game a little bit until you get the power, that is. But my long-winded point on this is I watched this film and some people didn't give it good reviews. And as much as I'm not into the Nebraska era, to watch the passion of this story. And also, it's a giant lesson on how hard it is to kind of recapture magic. Now, he's recording Nebraska on a cassette 4-track machine in his house in Jersey as kind of blueprints for the new record that they're going to record later with the full E Street Band 24-track in New York. And as he's recording these demos on his own and going through some mental health issues that are starting to rise up from his childhood with his father, and also a little taste of fame. And you get it in the movie as he steps out of a club and a guy drives by and goes, "You suck, Bruce." Even people think Bruce sucks, which is fucking hilarious. It's that great Neil Brennan act, you know. Beethoven, what is that? The Fifth Symphony. That sucks. I know music. I'm from Tampa. I'm not ruining his joke because he released it on a special, and I always loved that bit. My point is, it is really hard to recapture magic. That's why when I shot the special, I was so fucking happy that it was chemistry and lightning in a fucking bottle. It worked. And when it doesn't work, you know when it doesn't work. And then the people, the greed, the money people, the industry's like, it's great, man. It's great. Just put it out. You're overthinking it, man. You're overthinking it. You're getting in your own way, man. You're getting in your own way. People, that's what people say about you. You're getting in your own way. It's amazing all the cliche things the managers and the agents and uh, the record companies or the films or the TV or the casting people, they all use the cliche sayings. It's fucking, you're overthinking it. You're getting in your own way. You're difficult to work with. It's fucking crazy how they'll throw that shit at you. And if you're not strong, if you don't know who the fuck you are, you'll fold from that. So he's obsessed now with the sound of this cassette demo. And each time he tries to recreate it with the E Street Band, he goes, "This is fucking wrong." And man, to see that, and I've said it over and over the last 4 or 5 years on this podcast, there seems to be these magic messages that come to me whenever I'm kind of struggling and working on the new material right now. It goes good, and then the next night it goes fucking not good, and you're struggling, and then you get hit with some kind of fucking blast. And that's happened to me for years in my career. Like I'm down, and then I read this great Ali Wong story in the New Yorker. Then I'm down, and I read this incredible story on Nate Bargatze in GQ or some fucking magazine. Things aren't going good, and then things are going good. And you realize over and over and over that you need to trust the process. And I'm watching this movie, which, by the way, Jeremy crushed it, the guy from The Bear. At first, when I first saw the casting, I was like, oh, what is that? And then 10 minutes into the movie, I didn't think about it 1 second. I was into the fucking story. And here we are again, a guy who is an actor decides to really sing the stuff, a lot like Val Kilmer on the Doors movie, and absolutely deliver it. The opening scene, I'm not giving anything away because it's not anything in the story, is he's singing Born to Run live in concert. And I'm fucking glued on the detail. There it is, the tweed baseman, the 59 baseman that Bruce used, the 410 baseman. There it is, the analog delay, the tape delay, Echoplex, the telly, of course. That'd be funny if they just they missed it. They got everything, and then he comes out with a Les Paul. uh, the guy doing Max Weinberg, perfectly straight up like Max plays. Clarence looking fucking cool. All the clothing great. The clothing's fantastic, by the way. The different leathers of Bruce, the Z28, the 80s. I think it's 78. Yeah, sorry, I got that wrong. 78 Z28, the long car. Dave Cobb, the great, great producer, killing it with the music. The unbelievable Stone Pony scenes, which I'm still so grateful I got to play there. And I still think it's one of the most iconic venues in America and really should have its own documentary, still fucking open and not talked about enough. They always talk about CBGB, talk about the Whiskey, the Troubadour, but the Stone fucking Pony has been housing rock and roll down there on that deserted beach and they nail it. And then there it is, Jay Buchanan from Rival Sons playing in a band on stage there with a couple dudes from Greta Van Fleet, and Bruce, of course, stepping in and sitting in with that band. I don't know if that was I forget what that band was called that Bruce used to sit in with, but everything about it was really fucking good. And then the thing that I got the most out of it was there it was. I've always talked about Peter Grant as the greatest manager, but Landau, the Springsteen manager, and the guy from Severance that plays him, is a fucking powerful, powerful part of the story, man. Because he said something so great in this film. He goes, "Oh, hey, here's a script from Schrader, who wrote Taxi Driver. I want you to act in it." And he's like, "Whoa, really?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah. And then you got to do this song for Donna Summer. And then Jimmy Iovine wants to meet up with you." He goes, "Look, you go fucking deal with the art, and I'll take care of this fucking noise for you." And man, I mean, that fucking is such a crazy. That guy was like a rock critic and became Bruce's manager, never fucking ripped him off. The perfect guy that can't be the yes man. Bruce trusts that guy more than anything. And they've still together all these years. Unbelievable. I don't even know if that fucking guy manages anyone else. I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, yeah, he manages me." I've never heard that. So I can't recommend this film enough, mostly because it tells a story of how grueling it is to be an artist when you're at a fucking a spot where you need to cross the river. You're at the you're at this threshold of here or do I go there? And the decisions and how brutal it is. And you might not ever think, these musicians, as people always say, they're fucking, they're greedy. They want all the fucking money. They charge too much for tickets. They're rock stars. They got mansions. What about the dudes that didn't make it? What about all the years Bruce worked free? What about all the years a Bill Burr or you know, any of those big comics that you see now in arenas when they worked free? What if they never made it? You know? So, and that's just another story too, which seems to be starting to really start to unravel with Spotify finally. My 10 years of fucking clowning Spotify, it looks like some people are starting to wake up. But what I'm saying is, it's not ever the musician, the greed or whatever. They're just trying to fucking keep doing the thing, the comedy, the music, the acting. Anyway, go see the film. Go see it and see it in the theater, man. Don't fucking wait for it to come to streaming. It's great. I was in the theater. They got the nice Barca lounger. I'm in there. Unfortunately, I can't fucking eat any of the candy. I miss candy so much when I'm at the movie theater. You're just like, God damn. I was never a popcorn guy. I would get every time I'd get Raisinets and then I'd get Red Vines and I'd fucking pound the Raisinets first like a fucking shot. And then I'd go Red Vines. And if they had the Juji fruits, I would fuck up a box of that. It was three things of candy in an hour and a half, 2 hour movie. Anyway, lots of stuff I'm talking about here. And Maiden. Maiden announced a tour, and this will be the Maiden tour I see. I've said it where I go to every other tour. This is the Run for the, what is it, the Run for the Hills tour or whatever. Oh my God, it's such a fucking great set list. And what a lineup. Maiden, Megadeth, and Anthrax. This is a fucking must-see tour. It'll be my first time seeing the new drummer. And oh my God, the last time I saw Maiden, it was Burr and I. We went to the soccer arena and they were doing that live after death era. And this is going to be fucking great. Everybody's fired up. Maiden, Anthrax, Megadeth. Like I said, Bon Jovi announced a tour. We'll see how that goes. And also, I want to say big love for my dog Gertie. It was exactly 5 years ago that I got Gertie. She came into my life right around that COVID era, and Gertie's right here sleeping. Um, I, I can't even imagine my life without Gertrude. So 5 years with Gertie, which is beautiful. New band alert. This band Creepin' Jean. Jean, not like jeans. Great fucking band. Found him on Instagram. Jimmy Page was at a show seeing him, and they posted it up. They said Jimmy Page is at our gig, and when Jimmy Page is at a gig, I'm thinking, well, it's got to be a good fucking band. Let me see here. Let me get this right. And so I dived into it. Now they had a record come out in 2024 called Business is Dead. Now they have two singles out right now, 2025 singles. But this record I dug into, Business is Dead. I listened to this song called Mammoth. It's the first song on the record, and I was immediately like, holy shit, is this band fucking good? Crazy original sounding, like Geese, real outside the box, almost kind of Traffic, 70s, a little proggy. I don't even know how to describe it. Creepin' Jean Really fucking good record. Came out August 2nd, 2024. Business is Dead. I didn't do any research on them because I just got into it, but I did want to recommend it. And wow, really cool. Creepin' Gene. So dig into that. Also, what else I got for you? Oh, I wanted to say, and I said it on the episode, the Patreon bonus episode. Rest in peace, Sam Rivers, the bass player from Limp Bizkit. I got to know him quite well. He was an amazing, beautiful, friendly man. Zero rock star in him. Always laughing and having fun, and and an incredible bass player. You know, if you don't love Limp Bizkit or you love Limp Bizkit, whatever, the musicians in the band are fucking mind-boggling. Between Sam and Wes Borland, what they were laying down was not your standard type of power chord rock. It wasn't like da na 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 da na na na. This is like all weird atmospheric shit driven by a seven-string bass that was fucking unmistakably an amazing platform for Fred to rap over. And fuck man, he was like 48 and I was fucking floored, you know. It was like Ace, of course Ace, massive legend. But Ace lived a long fucking 9 lives. And then Sam a couple days later, and that one just socked me because I was like, fuck, this guy, I've known him for years and he's only 48. Now, I don't know how he passed, but it almost doesn't matter. He's gone. And they were just out on this fucking stadium tour with Metallica. And then they were also headlining all over, and they were this huge resurgence for them. And oh man, and they were one of the only five bands or so with original members. You know, you got like Green Day, Limp Bizkit, um, up until recently, Kiss, all four members, they weren't playing together, but they're still alive. It's very, very, very few bands that have the original members left. Dusty died from ZZ Top. That was original for 90% of the band, 99% of the band's career. Um, it is fucking tragic. 48. And the one thing I will say is I'm so happy that he did this stadium tour and it was the original guys and they were out. And if he was sick or whatever and didn't tell anyone, that's even better that he got to fucking just go out and tour at the highest level with his brothers. He started the band with Fred. He's the ground zero of Limp Bizkit. He brought in John Otto, his cousin, on drums. And like I said, like or hate Limp Bizkit, whatever your thoughts are, these guys made a giant mark in music. And there's made a lot of people happy in the last couple of years out on the road. I watched the footage, man. I watched these fucking stadiums go ballistic as they come out, you know? Fucking awful. So big love to you, Sam Rivers. I will miss you, man. And I spent a lot of time with that band. I shot a lot of footage. I did a behind the scenes, fly on the wall documentary for the Unquestionable Truth era record. Didn't know the guys, didn't know anything. Showed up. Ross Robinson got me this gig. I was, just off a tour and looking for something to do. I was in LA. I was a little lost at the time. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was supposed to shoot a couple of weeks in the studio of Limp Bizkit working on a new record, and it turned into shit a year. And I spent a lot of time with Sam Rivers. Rest in peace, buddy. Um, I can't imagine what the guys are going through because they actually, I will tell you this one thing about being behind the scenes with Limp Bizkit. Those guys were friends from when they're very young, and then they went through a real rough time, different guitar players and drummers, and you know, humongous success, and then rock bottom, and then to rise from the ashes. Those guys were family, man. And you can see it on their faces if you go look at shows from the last 6 months. Anyway, get out there, people, and turn it up. Live each day. I'll see you out on the road. DeanDelray.com for tour dates. Acme in Minneapolis is coming up next. Go watch my special, 5836, right now on YouTube. Please leave a comment and share it with your friends. It has been out now 5 months. I am fucking still loving it. Keep the candles lit.